Hi there, welcome to the Earth sign full moon reading forecast for all the Earth signs, which will include Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Now, this reading will be for the month, okay, starting from the 22nd, any of the energies leading up to the 22nd of August, up to the 20th of September. All right, so I did say for the general, for everyone, just a little recap, you will find a link below actually for the full moon in Aquarius general soul guidance reading. Now, there's a lot of information there that will pertain to a lot of you already. So this is like the extra layering of what's going on generally and the essence that you'll be feeling. And of course, now we're going to look sort of at the particular water sign, and not water sign, sorry, earth sign. This would include your sun, rising, your moon, and also your nodes. Okay, so I'm quite keen on the nodes, your north nodes, in particular south node, but north node and all any of the nodes. If you have them in any of the water signs, you might actually feel the impact also with these readings. So again, just watch whatever elements that you have to do with these, the rising sun and the rising sun and the moon and the nodes. Okay, and you might be cross-watching as well, or crossing over into seeing what other signs or whatever messages you have from the other signs. So I've got the card already pre-shuffled and they're all facing down, and I'm just going to choose 3 cards for Taurus. Okay, so this is the first card for Taurus, my second card, and the third card. So let's see. Okay, these readings are not too long. They're about 10 minutes. I might open clarifiers. It just depends on what the reading and whatever the energy I'm feeling. Okay, wow. Okay, I feel for the Taurians, you definitely need to take some leadership in your life. This is something that the full moon is highlighting. All right. Interestingly, because I've actually chosen pyrite for your crystal, which I'll talk about later, but it is very much related to the Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor is the first card you need. So I really feel that this full moon in Aquarius and this energy for you is about taking a stand, bringing in maybe your masculine elements into your sphere. This is whether you're a man or a woman, but also allowing yourself to sort of create your own leadership. Okay, the Emperor is a man who knows exactly what he wants. He's very firm in his decisions. If you're in a dispute of any kind or a misunderstanding, you know how to play the game, and you also know how to play yourself, okay, in the sense that you know what to do. Okay, you know how to move in life, and this is something you need to do. So if you're sort of not got this sort of quality in your life, this is something definitely that this full moon is going to be highlighting. Okay, this is not about sitting on your laurels, but really putting your vision out as well and seeing where can you start putting your strength and your mindset out in a way that will really be serving you. Okay, I feel like some of you could be getting opportunities as well. Okay, getting a sense of that, and maybe this is about you actually honing your skills, or actually highlighting your skills and actually putting them down so you can actually maybe sell yourself better, or your values really, or what's important for you. Okay, this is somebody who does not like to be messed around and is very clear, but he's also a very earthy man. All right, I'm just going to see what needs to fall out. Wow, okay, this is quite interesting. Okay, so here I've got also what needs to fall away for you, for the Taurians. Okay, I feel like in some way, I think you need to actually surrender more. There's an element of, interestingly, maybe also I'm going to come back to this reading because we've got the 2 cards, and what you may be seeing is you are being too rigid as well. Okay, for some of you, you may be too rigid, you're not sort of being flexible, and what needs to fall away is this sort of sense of holding on too tightly, because the first thing I saw when I saw the Queen of Cups is that you need to sort of let things happen and let things surrender. Okay, there is going to be a duality, a mixed polarity type reading. Just depends on where you're at. Okay, this is both the kind of the masculine essence and the female essence. So in some way, I feel that in some way that you need to actually release your emotions, let the energy flow from your creativity, and perhaps look at the magic of what could be actually summoned. All right, if you're actually sort of feeling sort of stuck in some way, it could be because you're actually not allowing certain things to be fluid and conjured up. Okay, I feel like also some of you are holding back and you're not really expressing yourself very well, and the Queen of Cups is really saying that you need to actually stop being sort of rigid in your thinking and maybe to communicate. Okay, sometimes when we also get in conflict with people, we can take a sort of a rigid stance, or get over detailed. And perhaps it is a really good time now to actually allow yourself to surrender, allow the space to experience sometimes a bit of patience, because the Queen of Cups also is a very nurturing, and she's a very patient queen, okay? She's not in a hurry. She's actually allows her emotions to sort of herself to feel what she needs to feel. And this is something that I think would be a really good combination between the masculine essence and the female essence. So depending on where you are on the scale, if you are somebody who's quite rigid, then maybe you certainly want to be letting that fall and then allowing the Queen of Cups, the energy of the Queen, to come through. The other thing I want to say about this is it's an opportunity for you to actually visualize and start bringing in what you want to actually emotionally feel fulfilled by. Okay, some of you might actually feel that you're swimming against the tide for some reason. I feel that in some way, or you might feel that you're kind of like a fish in a big sea or a big pond, or whatever that saying is. So in some way that you might feel that, maybe you're out of your depth. But this is not a time for you to get over convoluted and thinking too much, because you might have a choice to make as well. Okay, this is a Two of Swords here. So this is definitely somebody in conflict, not be able to think straight. She doesn't know whether she's coming or going. She's got herself blindfolded and she can't see which way to go. Okay, she's got two crows at the top of her head, which means that you're probably getting too many messages, or maybe two conflicting messages, or even not certain which way that you need to balance your life. Okay, which way to go. Okay, I just do feel for some of you that you could be at a crossroads for sure. Okay, or maybe two paths could be opening up for you. Now, do take your time, really maybe see what will bring the security for you, in the sense what would be stabilizing for you, and even increase your kind of leadership placing in the world, if you like. Okay, this could be within a relationship. This is, of course, a general reading, so this is for Taurus, and whatever emotions you might need to bring in. So this is a really good balance. What else can I tell you about this? I feel that also that you need to be very rooted. So this, being an earth sign, you've got Uranus actually in your sign at the moment. It is going retrograde. So you, particularly Taurians, might be feeling the effects as well around this full moon about sun changes, something coming out of the blue that could really emotionally sort of, pull you back a bit, and with some news that you weren't expecting. Okay. With this as well, you really need to surrender and touch. I keep on coming back to this card because it's very central to what's going on. And I feel that in some way that this is really, really important, that you do not get, it could be a sense of authority, somebody from the outside coming in and kind of giving you the kind of the easy EGBGs, or, somehow who's kind of somebody strict. It could be your employer as well. Somebody's got a hold over you. Okay, it could be a partnership as well. Somebody's got a hold of you. It could be emotional, but this is something that you were not expecting, and you need to actually just take yourself and really sit with the possibility of allowing the solution to enter. Try not to get, like I said earlier on, I'm going to open a few more cards here actually, and get too into your head, because I don't think you see your way forward. This might be a case of actually having to feel your way forward. Okay, now for some of you as well, it could be that you actually, what I'm hearing is you've got maybe a blind spot, so you're not actually able to see, or you're not seeing things clearly, and you don't know how to see things. So maybe wait it out, but also don't let the fact that you can't see get in the way of a possible solution. But what's lovely here is we've got the Judgment card, which I also opened up as a clarifier. So I definitely feel that you will be shown the way. Okay, if something will be revealing itself, and this is almost a very karmic card, where there's going to be a shift in whatever has happened, or whatever you need to do. This is you actually kind of rising above maybe what you thought you were capable of. And this is only going to speak to some of you, but this is certainly going to be informing you of a better opportunity, or a release of some kind. Okay, I feel like in some way that maybe you have been held back. Okay, do use your intuition as well. So if you're feeling that you need to get out of a situation that's you're entangled in, then use your intuition, because of course the Queen of Cups is a really good card for that. So again, go towards the water and stuff. But I do feel that you will be released from whatever situation I think you find yourself in a bind. This is also, like the main message for it is, it's like there is some change coming in. And it's really important that you might not like what's happened. It might not actually sort of, you've got to be brave at the moment and take courage. But this is something you can actually summon up. I don't know if I've showed you this card, but this is the Judgment card. And you see this figure coming out of herself. And she's in fact kind of praying and almost surrendering everything and allowing to be shown how she needs to sort of deal with the situation. Okay, this could be also some kind of, I did say in my main reading that Uranus will be playing a part, particularly for some inner work and inner realization. So whatever's happening is also serving you for your inner growth and inner transformation. Okay, you've got to know what's true for your heart, which is really the key message for this full moon as well. I think some of you have been leading a very structured life, maybe a life that maybe had been imposed on you by sort of society or by your family members or even certain members, or maybe fallen into a role where things have got quite rigid and got quite staid, okay? It could mean that in some way you could be locking horns with people as well because of this situation. Try and have some flexibility around whatever challenges you're getting at the moment, right? And like I said, take the steady road, as in do not be hasty in trying to fix something. Allow your intuition to be, for you to be guided. Witness and seek some signs, and particularly if you're not even sure where things could be coming from. Okay, yeah, you definitely bring some emotional ability here. I've just pulled another card, so we've got here the King of Cups as well. So this is very much, even if you're masculine or the feminine or a man or a woman, this is very much about really getting in touch with your inner sense of self. Okay, this is about also feeling the emotions, allowing yourself to go with the tides, swimming with the tides, and know that you actually have got something very unique to offer. Okay, so if somebody is challenging you out there, that this is something, an opportunity for you to actually really express as well, okay, and also show your kind of star quality. All right, I don't know if this is making sense, but this is what's coming in for me as well. I do feel that it is time, and I think the Scorpions or the Pisces got this as well. It's really important that you go towards water. Although we've got this full moon, you might feel that your emotions are getting quite heightened. For some of you, this could also mean a really lovely coupling that could be happening, and maybe feeling that you're actually going to be meeting your other half, so to speak, okay, especially when you get the two of these, the same signed cards. So I'm just going to put it out there. This could be, for some of you, a relationship that is actually moving up a level, an emotional level, and when you're both being in your sovereign as well as being able to meet each other. So it's a real leveling of a relationship. So if you've only got strong Taurus in your relationship, you might find that it elevates itself to a really good place, or you are going to find, or you're going to seek a partner that is going to be matching your field and your vibration. Okay, like I said, I do feel at the bottom of the deck here, I've got the Ace of Pentacles. So I do think this is also an opportunity that's going to be coming in for some of you, and also something that's going to be offered. Okay, do take your time again as well, because this, I feel, is something that you're going to cultivate. Okay, I'm feeling that the roots are growing out of this. So this is something that you can actually really get your teeth into, or really put your roots down, and could be long standing. This is something also that maybe you've had hidden inside of you for a long time, and now you're wanting to reveal that sort of expression out into the world. Okay, but it will take some while for it to strengthen. Okay, so this full moon is really beginning to want to show you that there could be some hidden talents that you need to express yourself. You might have been spot for choice and not really known which way to go, but trust that you are going to be getting the right sense of guidance that you've been seeking as well. And particularly if you actually spend some time during this full moon reflecting and really taking your time to be shown the way. I feel, Taurus and Taurians, that you will be led to live your truth. And this is very important, okay? Because being, coming from your internal space, from your heart space, is very important. Okay, I want to kind of come back to this sort of getting a piece of pyrite for some of you, or certainly, this crystal. If it has one, then do use it, okay? Otherwise, you can just visualize it, or just think about its properties. But this property is about finding your fire, your inner fire, and your central core power, which is also related to the Emperor. The Emperor is not a sort of a lightweight candidate here. Okay, he's very firm in himself, very firm in his beliefs. He is led by his own inner domain. He's very disciplined and very focused, and he knows exactly what he wants, and he goes after what he wants. And this pyrite actually will help you sort of generate this power. It's really good for the solar plexus as well as the sacral chakra, which is the creative center. Okay, these colors are also in this card. You see the yellow and the orange, very much dominant colors here. This helps also for you to sort of balance and strengthen. So if you're feeling a bit off kilter, all right, or if you're feeling this full moon is bringing some energy up that is kind of confusing you or whatever, then just know, or maybe even over emotional possibly, that this pyrite will help you, okay, take leadership as well and bring some focus into your life. This also helps. I'm just going to have a quick read of my notes. Okay, it's, if you're feeling blocked as well, this can also really help for you to sort of release any of the blocked energies. Okay, it is a fire within the bowl. Now here, both here, the king and the queen have a bowl, if you notice, this emotional cup, where it is really important that you actually start filling yourself with the kind of the drive. It helps to rekindle the drive and passion. So again, this is a time for you to start bringing in and making that your central focus. All right, you may, like I said earlier on, that you feel that you've got lost and you can't see your way, but this is a really important time for you to take the blinkers off, not listening to any external noise, and allow yourself to and untangle yourself from anything that's making you feel tangled up. Okay, the Two of Swords is somebody also in deep conflict, can't see her way through and doesn't want to make a move. Sometimes it is recommended that you do not make a move till you know where you're going. Okay, this is not a race. This is an opportunity for you to really tap deep into yourself, and then until the right path shows its way. And I say this because I can just about see a path that will make itself known to you very obviously. So use pyrite as the crystal to help engage in that sort of empowerment towards your focus and taking leadership in your life. But I think it'll naturally, actually, like I said, because it ends with a judgment card to clarify it, that you will naturally end up actually finding your truth and elevating yourself to a different level. But this could be actually quite hard for some of you. I think in some way, some of you could have felt a bit stuck and you're actually maybe more anxious than you need to be. Okay, so I'm going to actually choose this card from my relaxation deck about maybe what could be helping you during this full moon energy. Some of you actually might want to travel, and maybe thinking about traveling. All right, but I feel that in some way this is a really good time for you to be more still, okay, and not taking too much sort of physical action, but actually sort of getting more inward and taking the inner focus rather than the outer focus. So I think that somehow Taurians are going to be possibly affected by this Uranus thing, okay? The other thing is, very earthly things. It says here, what would be quite nice for you is to make some bread. Can you see this? Or maybe the light's not right. Okay, baked bread. Okay, so for me, this is actually allowing yourself, as an earth sign, as Taurus as well, you love your food. You love things that, taste good, that looks good. You're ruled by the sign of Venus as well. So things like that really kind of turn you on. You're quite, you must be quite into it. Okay, I'll be very surprised if there's certain Taurians who are really anti that, but it could be, not saying that you're not all, sort of, cookie cutters in the same way, but generally Taurus people love anything to do with food, anything that's beautiful, anything that feels good and tastes good and all that kind of stuff. So in some way, if you've neglected yourself from actually nurturing yourself in some luxuries of eating, I would say, or even using your hands, this is a really good time for you to be very creative as well with your hands, okay? Both these figures also interestingly have the hands very much featured here. So maybe for some of you Taurus, you maybe want to do something more to do with your creativity, in the sense where you use your hands and where maybe the gift is to do with making and crafting things. So think about that. If you've been, maybe overthinking and being in a cerebral situation or at work or always thinking things, sometimes actually working with our hands as well really helps to sort of draw our energy in a different way and allow something new to come through. This also with bread making, of course, if you've never made it, challenge yourself to make something like this. But it's also really good because it allows you to knead and to take the stress and the pressure, and you can actually use the dough to knead the stress out. It says here, so I'll read what it says at the back here. It says, allow yourself some time to make your favorite kind of bread from scratch. Okay, it feels great to pound, roll, and knead out stress through the bread dough. Nothing feeds that comforting sense of hearth and home more than the smell of freshly baked bread. And what a great food to share with someone else in need, or for a little TLC. So I think this is also really lovely. You might actually make that for your lover. So if you're in a real partnership, maybe you want to actually make some bread. And it's true, when you wake up to the smell of freshly baked bread, there's nothing more comforting and alluring than that sort of nicely baked bread. So this is something that you can do to actually help you keep you on an even keel, keep you grounded, all right, and also really kind of nourish and furnish your taste buds and your sense of sort of, calm and equilibrium. I'm also going to choose something here from the surrender deck for yourselves. I feel like you need, you're getting a bonus because everyone else either just got the surrender deck or a crystal. But let's see for the Taurians here, what perhaps you need to release or what it is around you. Let's have a look. Okay, I'll just put one card out first. Stuck. All right, wow. Okay, so in some ways, it says here, it says surrender to success. So some of you may be afraid to really show up and elevate yourself and take leadership. So, if you've been hiding or sort of, being stuck, the Emperor can also be very stuck in his own form, sort of rigid in the sense of thinking, or maybe fear is having you stuck, because the Two of Swords also is a reflection of fear. All right, so in terms of the surrender deck, this is an opportunity for you to really release maybe your sense of not being possible, or the lack of possibilities of actually doing really well. You're ready to experience abundance. Do not look back at the previous roadblocks, difficulties. Okay, this is maybe when you can't see yourself and you actually got all that mental noise as well. Okay, perhaps in the past as well, because you see her face, she's looking back, okay, and thinking, well, in the past when I tried to do that, that wasn't happening, or nobody took my work seriously, or I put all this effort and nothing's working out. Sometimes we just have to let it all go. Okay, just literally, just not even put such a huge emphasis on things. Okay, but it says leap into exciting new world of possibilities. So again, you do have Taurus, your Uranus in Taurus. You have, and it's there for some time, but because it's going retrograde, you could be getting definitely some news out of the blue. Now, this full moon is also partly a blue moon because we've had 2 Aquarius full moons, one coming up on the 22nd. We had one, I think, on the 26th of July or something at the back end of July. So I'm going to leave it here for the Taurians. If you want to have an extra reading, personal reading, you'll find my details below across the screen. You can book me in via my website. And I hope you got something out of this reading. Thanks for listening. And I will now go on to Virgo for the earth signs. Okay, so here I have the cards. I'm just shuffling it out for the Virgo people. Okay, interesting, Virgo. The first card that popped out for you was the 8 of Swords. So there's something about you feeling bound, cannot see your way forward, and actually feeling stuck. Okay, so, and I think that this is what you're actually recognizing that is going on for you. This full moon is definitely highlighting. Okay, that the energy of the full moon is really intense at the moment. Well, we've been able to kind of build towards an awareness and a seeing of what really is not working for us anymore and what is, which is really interesting because, of course, it's really come up for a lot of the other signs as well. But your opening card is this full moon is really showing where you are bound possibly negatively by your thoughts, or literally and physically in a situation that actually has you stuck. Okay, in essence, there are 2 figures here. One is in the mirror, so she's actually thinking it, that this is like the equivalent of the swords, where she's thinking about how stuck she is rather than actually being stuck. But sometimes we can overthink things and we actually get ourselves stagnant and unable to move forward. Okay, so I think it's really important that you recognize that perhaps your mind is playing some kind of games and you need to release yourself. Okay, nobody's got you held. by the gunpoint or anything like that. Okay. Again, sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you feel that you can't move forward, and maybe that is what's keeping you stuck. All right. I'm just going to open the other two cards. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so what I'm finding here is, as well, is you've got to actually start really thinking about other ways of actually creating stability and a sense of nourishment in your life. This is really important. Perhaps by actually nurturing yourself in a way through your food or through your body as well is going to really help. Okay, the Queen, I've got the Queen of Pentacles here. She's also the woman who really strives to know exactly what she wants. She's a no-nonsense woman. She's sitting there very calmly, very earthly as well. This is an earth sign, so it's very suited to you. And she's also very ornately dressed, in the sense she's got a lot of detail. She's got a necklace on her. She's got a blue eyeshadow. So she loves, and this is very Virgo as well, that you love your details. You like, and this is really important, that you actually summon up some kind of creativity that is really important for you. And you can either keep that close to yourself or really express it. Okay, I feel like some of you are definitely going to get an opportunity or moving towards some new expression, or possibly even a new job. And I think maybe you might find yourself, you think that you're stuck, but you're not. So if this is some sort of surprise to some of you, know that there is going to be an opportunity for you to actually seek out and see what it is that you need to do. What you need to definitely do is not sit on your laurels, though, but really bring in an element of what it is that you need to do. Okay, some of you could have been actually breaking away from somewhere that's actually been not very helpful in some way. All right, I've got the Ten of Swords here beneath the Queen of Pentacles as well in the inversion. So I feel in some way definitely you've been there and done that. Okay, you've kind of coming out of a space, a dark space, maybe feeling really stagnant. And maybe it's where somebody's actually betrayed you quite badly, but you are moving out of that situation. All right. And it is now maybe about owning your power as well. So wherever you are, whether this is something you relate to or something to do with conflict, I don't see this being necessarily in a love relationship. This is more about your sense of well-being and your inner creativity, as if somebody has not taken your craft seriously, okay, or has let you down in some way. But this is an opportunity for you to actually start feeling and moving away and owning your power as well. Okay, do not let them, the kind of naysayers or your mental state to actually hold you back. This is really important, that you start moving away and moving forward. You're turning this is her turning her back, despite the fact it's inversion. This is about saying that you're definitely ready to start moving forward in your life and taking the small steps possibly, because Ten of Swords is quite a wounded card, but it's not as negative looking as the Rider-Waite. The Rider-Waite, classically, if you know the Rider-Waite, is when the guy is completely pronated down on the ground with about 10 swords in his back, and this is like, you can't, Ten of Swords is it can't get any worse. Okay, so if there was a situation that's had you bound as well, with the Eight of Swords, and you could still be coming out of that phase, but it could be because something in the past has actually really put you there, and you're now only being able to release yourself and move out of that dark space that you could have been. I feel also with this card as well, with the Ten of Swords, is a sense of liberation that is clear here as well. Your path is clear. She's got a new horizon facing forward. Okay, do take your time in cultivating what you need to do, and it's very important that you be steady on your feet as you do this. Really get earthed as well. Go into a forest, maybe for some of you Virgoans. This could be a really good thing. Go into woodland. And if you live in a city, maybe just go to the nearest park if you can. But those who can really access more of the wilderness, I think for you, particularly as an earth sign, it would be very helpful during this full moon. Okay. I always also feel that this full moon as well, it's really good to let go of all the things that have not worked, and really to take a look at maybe, the things that you really kind of maybe wanted to put out there that hasn't worked away for you as well. But this is definitely an opportunity for you to start cultivating and getting really centered, okay, and trying not to lose your balance in that centering by not getting focused. So it is really important that you center yourself, maybe take yourself, like I said, out in nature. Okay, this is about, really important as well that you release any of the negativity that has been surrounding you. I feel like some of you definitely have been stuck in a very negative energy, just because we've got the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords, okay? And the Ten of Swords in a negative as well is sort of somebody who's actually allowing themselves to get over, sort of invested in the emotional pain. Now, you do need to look after yourself, like I said, with the Queen of Swords. I feel like some of you need to nurture yourselves better. Maybe you've neglected yourself, dietary-wise and exercise. But this is about maybe taking small steps forward for moving through that dark phase that you've been in. Okay, this is not going to apply to all of you, all right? I've also pulled the surrender deck of surrender to your intuition. So this is really important here. And she's also got her eye closed here and even here. And while you can't see your way forward, again, it's really important that you use your intuition, because intuition is something that you just know from your insight, from the inner feelings you might have. And again, I feel like even if she doesn't know where she's going, she's moving towards something. And this is a really good time for you to be able to trust your instincts. Okay, there might be a certain kind of not a juvenile, but quite a novice, because you've got here the Page of Pentacles, okay, with fresh ideas and new possibilities, and maybe the early sprouts of moving forward, and I think this could be also to do with the emotional well-being, but you need to actually allow your intuition to guide you. All right, there's definitely a completion going on for yourselves as well, Virgo. So if there was a cycle, and it's actually evolved, evolves more spiritually, I feel. Okay, it's had to happen. I've got the Hierophant here at the bottom of the deck, and the World for me, which is also very much heightens an end of a cycle and starting anew. Okay, and even keeping your boundaries intact here. Okay, this is really important that you know who you let in and who you keep out. Okay, but the Hierophant often signifies about kind of its personal spiritual evolution, where you're actually asking, and maybe the situation and anything that's happened for you, all right, and maybe it's stalled you as well. Okay, the Queen is not like the King, where it's actually much more slow moving, but maybe you're able to only move through slowly, and whatever it is, your spiritual growth has been an aspect very much coming up to this full moon, and maybe you even want to partake in some of the spiritual practices that will help you. You will get your fire back, you will get your vive la joie back, and you might get a sense of real exciting news. Okay, at the bottom of the deck card here, we've got the Queen of Wands, but I also noticed that there's a black cat there, which is again to do with your intuition. So trust that there's a kind of inspiration that's going to land in your palm. Literally, it's going to be, oh, that is so obvious. You're going to literally look at it and thinking, I can't believe I haven't thought about that. And this is also, for me, confirms with the Page of Pentacles, because the page is still quite young in its manifestation, but very tangible. Okay, and it's holding a coin there, but again, it's not very stable. If you see, it's not standing on 2 feet. It's got one, and it's almost standing on something that can almost sort of toss him either side. So this is what I was saying earlier on. Keep yourself rooted and grounded, as that will be very, very important for you Virgos. Okay, I'm being asked to actually bring in the Moon Oracle deck for yourselves as well as an extra card. So let's have a look. So we've got intuition. Okay, now definitely a cycle's ended, but I think within you accepting that cycle being ended and perhaps moving out and having come out of a place that was maybe for some of you a very difficult situation after maybe months of difficulty, or maybe you've been in a situation where certain things you've been tied to it. I'm getting the feeling like something by not law, but something legal, something kind of like, something that's really held you bound, that you've not been able to move forward because it's felt incomplete. So whatever it is, there is definitely a completion coming along here, which will also free you up. Okay, I think another sign earlier on, one of the water signs got the Eight of Swords as well, but I felt with the Eight of, for that particular group, whichever sign got it, there was definitely a sense of suffocation. Here, I don't feel as much suffocated, but I feel that you've definitely been withheld or held back. Okay, it is really important that you speak your truth in whatever situation it is, or also start really releasing the shackles so you can start living your truth. Okay, sometimes things can happen to us. I've known people that maybe, you know, a devastation or a breakup, a relationship, or a really painful relationship has caused that person to almost stagnate, and they've become, you know, really stuck, and the whole home has fallen apart, and, you know, it's become one big pile of mess, and they've not actually been really looking after themselves. So some of you could have actually really been experiencing this. Okay, there's no shame in that. There's no judgment, but it is really now time for you to take care of yourself. Whoever this could be speaking to, this is not going to speak to anybody else, okay, or everyone rather. Okay, here, interestingly enough, one of the cards that I've pulled out from the Moon Oracle is a sense of resistance. This is about, like I said, letting go. So if you're holding on to some grudge, okay, because for me, the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords, and particularly the Ten of Swords in the Light Seers Tarot, is about not willing to let go. Okay, I really feel that this is something that some of you could be struggling with, but the universe is asking you, which is what this full moon is. And if you go, like I said, to the others, Virgo, if you go down to the link below, you'll see the full moon forecast, and that will give you much more of a broader picture of what's happening. And we really, it says here, like it or not, we must embrace the change. We've gotten cycles, and out of these cycles, we really have to release and change. Okay, some of you might maybe even realize that you've been stuck for a very long time. The other thing I'm picking up with this card is I think there's going to be some good news for some of you. Okay, definitely. And what I want to say is, do not let the possibility of some good luck coming your way, you know, do not hold on to the old, and maybe be open to something new coming in. I feel that this card also complements this one. Here she's living very joyously. Okay, she's very excited. She's really, like, you know, really, look, it's like, oh my God. I mean, for some of you, this could be a windfall. Okay, because there are an opportunity where it could be major windfall or something completely out of the blue that's going to get you so ecstatically happy. You know, it could be some money coming in, it could be some inheritance coming in, or it could be a spark of inspiration that could really take you much further afield as well in yourself, okay, in terms of maybe a business idea and stuff. But whatever it is, do not hold on to ideas your old ideas too strong. Okay, this is now a time of releasing the resistance. I'm going to actually have a look a bit more to see if there's anything else I can add for you around this resistance card. I mean, obviously, sometimes when they've got these oracle cards, when they've got, you know, the name for it, I tend to read the energy of the card and what I'm picking up. All right, but sometimes they're a bit more explicit, obviously, in the little books. I do feel like in some way it is to do with a message as well. You might not be able to see everything clearly at this stage, but try not to resist, maybe because you can't see things clearly as well. You know, not all is revealed in a way that you might like it to, but this is, you know, and this is a hand coming through as well. So there could be, like I said, with this, you know, an opportunity that you're being unleashed, you know, from this, okay? So do not resist the possibility of releasing anything, you know, that you might be holding on to. Okay, you could be holding on to your emotions. It could be holding on to things that you've outworn, outdated your thinking. So let's have a look quickly. What this 25 card of resistance says. Okay, it says, familiar yourself with how resistance manifests for you. Okay, overt or covert. If you continue to have doors slammed in your face, then turn around. Okay, this is a really important thing as well, because we are going through changes, and maybe you got frustrated as well that certain things are not been working in your favor, which is also a Ten of Swords thing. You know, it's kind of like an over and over, you know, things happening over and over again. Ten of Swords, you know, and eventually it gets into your mind or your psyche. All right, you know, again, procrastination is another one as well. If you get stuck as well, Eight of Swords is very much a card of procrastination. Okay, this is when you kind of don't move because you're overthinking things, and you don't actually end up doing anything because you're overthinking things. So again, be mindful of that. Could be a tendency, and this is very much an opportunity for you, this full moon, to release this procrastination that could be existing around you. Okay, sometimes it is about moving just forward with confidence and persistence. All right, do not be put off maybe with seeing the end result. Trust yourself, trust your intuition. Try not to let anybody else get in the way of your creativity or your promise of what you want to create, is very much the message for this full moon as well. let's see as well here. This is the first time we get obstacles placed in our way or our way is blocked. For example, we try to get a particular job in a particular field, but no matter what we do, it doesn't happen. This is an external overt resistance. Okay. Now, covert resistance, which occurs when we say we really want to do something or complete something, but feel resistance not to, and is somewhat sneakier. Okay, so I have a feeling that is possibly more to do with that. Okay, because you do as well. The Queen of Pentacles is a very smart, grounded lady who is also capable of manifesting, being very entrepreneurial. Okay, she knows how to use what she's got and make it into something a lot more than it originally is as well. Okay, and she can be quite shrewd and very smart, and she knows how to build things up. So this could be also something you might be thinking about. You know, by all means, keep it to yourself, trust your intuition, but let the thing grow, whatever it is it could be. Okay, and be mindful maybe when you have days where it's kind of sneaking up on you, that's, you know, being mental chatter. All right, because that could also stop us in our tracks. It says here, when we want to get rid of a bad habit, an addiction, or an old pattern, in fact, anything we're thinking of releasing, okay, which is really good in the full moon, by the way. So use this full moon to really help you flush out anything that you resisted or anything that's not serving you. This is very much also the message. All right, you know, be mindful that, you know, that this is why do we resist the things we say we want? Okay, sometimes we don't want these things, and most times we're frightened about what we might happen. So if we do get what we've asked for, what will people think? Will we lose our friends and family? Okay, you know, but this is a real opportunity. Now, I don't think you'll do this. You just have to know that you're worth it, which is really what this card also says. And this is what the Queen is about. She's clear, she's strong, and you've got two queens here, so very female dynamic energy. All right, we also have the Ace of Wands, by the way, at the bottom of the deck, followed by the High Priestess. So this is for sure, you know, confirming your intuition, because of course the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, the third card behind there, okay, these are all the three cards we've got. So we've got the Hierophant, which is about, you know, whatever's happened has helped you to evolve. And then maybe also something for some of you as well, it's about stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that maybe requires you having to study, maybe requires you to start over in a sense and working your way ground up, but do it with passion and humor. If you look at this card, he's actually really happy as well. So he's a very contented situation. So do things that you can actually start honoring what you want to do. Now we've also, like I said, got here the High Priestess, and she's very much the intuitive card. She knows to trust herself, okay, very much. So we've got the Ace of Wands, you know, followed by that. And again, with this particular Ace of Wands, I always feel that she's so in touch with the third eye, and she's getting a download of real inspiration. And really behind that is the Chariot. So this is about moving forward. So any one of you, if you've been feeling stagnant, trust me, you're going to be moving quite rapidly forward. There's potential for that. You just have to get out of your own way, okay, and ride the wave of possibilities that may be coming to you. If you need to think about things, take some while for sure, you know, ask for a bit of time to be able to, you know, don't rush into it. Although once you decide to make a decision, things could be moving quite rapidly forward for you, but do speak up. And any questions you might have, trust your intuition for, or whatever that's bringing up, because this is now a time for you to start really creating your own tapestry of new opportunities or ideas. Okay, it's something that can really, really grow. So I think I'm going to leave here the Virgo reading for you. You know, I hope you got something here. Just trust yourself and release any resistance to new possibilities. And this new possibility could also be something you weren't expecting as well. But make sure, you know, you do have the World card as one of your first back end card, which is about completion. So this is either something that you need to complete, you're coming out of a cycle of completion, so having something happened way back. This is now an opportunity for you to actually really have closure on it as well, where you can be released, okay, and really now go out into a fresh landscape where you can actually be free and also sort of really become who you need to become. So thanks again, and now I'm going to move on to the Capricorn earth sign. So hey there, Capricorn. Now, interestingly, I think straight off the bat, what I am going to say to you guys is about this, obviously, I won't say obviously, but some of you are definitely afraid of change, or one or two of you maybe might be watching this. There's change very much being asked of you. Now, interestingly, that is the main message for the full moon in Aquarius reading that I did previously, and I loaded up yesterday, and you find the link below in the description box. And that is really worth checking out, because the main message is there's going to be major changes for a lot of people. But interestingly, before I even had a chance to put your cards out, the first card that popped out from the surrender deck is the fear of change. So, and because it kind of came in rather strongly and rather rapidly, I do feel there's a message in itself in that kind of action of the cards. So for some of you, okay, I'm going to just start your reading really with this. And this might resonate for some. It says the universe is reminding you that you're cared for always. So, you know, the universe has your back, okay? Whether you're afraid of change in your job, your health, or your relationship, or fear of aging, or even death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. Okay, so here we can see a woman actually riding, you know, on a horse. Okay, a horse also is a very grounded animal, very sensitive and very intuitive, and it can be led. So just trust that you will be led as well. So whatever change is happening, allow yourself to be guided or led, actually, just simply just led. All right, sometimes we just need to also release the fear, all right, of any change, because sometimes change will happen to us. Now, actually, my message, which is the channeled message that I got, which again, the full message will be in the video, which is the video link below. I did write actually here something about their seasons in order of change, and like it or not, we must embrace. Okay, so because if you do not act, the universe will do it for you. So again, some of you maybe have been sort of sitting around in your laurels too long, or maybe taking your time, you know, or maybe being in a job that you've not liked for ages, and suddenly you find that they've given you notice unexpectedly, and you've just gone back to work, you know, because of, you know, sort of now, you know, out of the sort of pandemic and, you know, all that, and suddenly you find that you're back in a situation that maybe you didn't expect to find yourself feeling, whatever it is. So this is going to be unique for everybody. If it is in a relationship sense as well, if something's gone wrong, there's some kind of relationships also definitely forecast for it to be looked at, and maybe there's some conscious uncoupling or sudden breakups, wherever you are at on that scale. If you are one of those people as well, possibly in a relationship, and there's that change has occurred, and suddenly you find yourself in a very precarious situation, you don't know where you're going to live, or you have to move out, or you need to just separate, okay? So you can got some distance between what's right or wrong, okay, in the sense what you need or you don't need anymore, you know, what's right for you rather than what's wrong for you, okay? Very important here. So if anything or anybody is creating a change in your life, to ride it out, okay, and to go with it. So that is kind of one of your main messages, Capricorn, that is happening for you. I'm now going to choose 3 cards for you, okay, and we're going to see what it is saying. Okay, wow, okay, definitely it's a change. Wow. All right, okay, I've got 3 cards here, and they are very indicative of changing. Okay, this full moon for sure, Capricorn, and please do leave your comments if this resonates to some of you, is there's a fortune of, you know, a wheel of fortune. So there's definitely a change in the cycle in your life. Okay, some of it could be bigger than others, some of it's maybe smaller, but there's kind of change, and it could actually topsy-turvy you a bit. Okay, you might find that you're going to have to pivot, you're going to have to balance, and there's a balancing act, and this full moon is actually really forcing you to do that, or it's being forced upon you, whichever way you are or whoever you are. This is something that's actually been brewing for a long time, and it's going to be erupting, okay, and coming out of the blue. I think maybe you need to even take a risk. So maybe you yourself know and feel that there is some kind of risk that you need to take, and it's a bit of a dicing game. Okay, maybe you've got 2 options or several options, and you're deciding to actually throw the dice in, literally. So you might be actually doing the leaving and not knowing where you're going to go. Okay, this is something that's going to actually, like I said, make a major change in your life, but it is a good thing, because what really needs to fall away, I'm going to hold this card up, is the Devil card. So look at this. This is what needs to fall away as well. So this can be this is a Capricorn card as well, I have to say. All right, so in some way, this is so what needs to happen for you. Okay, you're being offered an opportunity to release something that really has had its day. It's stagnant. You've been kind of relying on it. You've been dependent on it. You've been held by it, you've been oppressed by it, possibly as well. And this is something maybe that's lured you in, or you've had a good run with it. Maybe at the time it felt a really good thing, but you're now discovering that it's not anymore. Okay, I think somehow you've been tapping into something within your heart, or maybe something much more closer to you spiritually that's really, really important. And I think you need to literally, when I say let your hair down, let yourself go, okay, or whatever has been chaining you, because this is not serving you. All right, you need to definitely leave the noises of behind. Somebody could be saying to you, why are you doing that? Why are you leaving? All right, it could be, if it's in a relationship, maybe somebody's trying to stop you from going, doesn't want you to leave, or maybe they're trying to convince you to stay for all the reasons. This is a really good opportunity for you to not get caught up in that, okay? Do not get strung along to what other people think. This is a really important time for you to release yourself from the shackles of what has been held back to you, held you back. What else can I tell you about this as well? I'm picking up. I feel like whatever it is, this is actually you're going to see the benefit of this actually happening, because really also this has been exhausting you. This has been something that's been happening for some time, and you've been thinking about it as well. Okay, I felt like in some way, this might speak to some of you, maybe not all of you, but there's a sense of powerlessness that's come from the situation. We've lost your power and your kind of mojo a bit, okay, almost to the point that also you've lost your kind of inner wisdom and your inner knowing. Okay, if there's any external noise, if you just don't mind ignoring it. But coming back to the reading here as well, there is also something that you've been emotionally holding yourself to, maybe even afraid of leaving it, thinking you're not going to get your emotional needs met. But that is such a lie, because the devil is very good at convincing you why it needs to be there. It could be some habits, actually. Okay, it doesn't have to be a person. It could be some drinking habits, some smoking habit, or some drug habit, or whatever's had you caged and held back. But I feel like in some way you know that this needs to change. And of course, like I said, the opening card is the fear of change card, and this is an opportunity for you to take it. All right, and look, and like I said, the opening card is the Wheel of Fortune. So here she is, knowing that she may be taking a risk. Sometimes we have to leave an old life, okay, and not knowing how the new life is going to look. But in order to create the new life, we have to let go of the old, and it may feel risky. Okay, you might have to let go of your flat, of your home, or your marriage, whatever it is. It's going to speak to different people, whoever's listening. And I really hope that this card reading has some message for you here, or some resonance. Obviously, it's not going to resonate with everybody, but it may speak to even just one or two of you. But I feel like in some way, whatever situation, because I've got here the 9 of Wands in the inverted. So this is somebody, who's actually just kind of been worn out. She's not been able to overcome the hurdles, but she has that last spark in her that decides that actually I've really got to do this for myself, that despite the fact that I've been beaten down and it's been a hard road, and maybe I need to really look at how I can move myself out of the situation. You can actually overcome whatever it is, because it is actually just in your mind, or possibly the influence of the external factor that is holding you there. If you find as well, some of you, that you get a message out of the blue, I would actually really consider it seriously. This could actually give you a leg up, so to speak, or a helping hand in moving forward. Okay, you might find that you haven't got much you might have come actually from the background of actually not feeling very active, but I wouldn't worry too much, because actually here, this is the energy moving into, which is also the Knight of Wands. This is somebody who's got her fire and her spunk back, and she's actually willing to take risks. Okay, this is actually a he. Okay, so this is a knight. Okay, the Knight of Wands has got a lot of dynamic energy, a lot of possibilities, and he knows how to drum up possibilities as well. But I think this situation is actually possibly going to come out of the blue for some of you as well. Not all of you, but some of you. But whatever it is, you're going to be able to take it and make it into something. Very important, okay? Yeah, so this is something that, you are going to get inspired by as well. And listen to the little flurries of inspiration that be coming through. Okay, it could be actually in a gathering as well. Some of you actually could be actually around some people that you might find that you get some kind of notice or pay attention what you notice. Pay attention to what sound or some comment or some noise, if you like. But no, I'm not talking about negative noise. I'm talking about something that's speaking to you. Okay, that's really, really important, and that's going to actually, give you the kind of the sprint that you need or you're seeking. Okay, because in some way you've actually been held back for some time. Okay, and it is really now time for you to capture your heart essence. Okay, for some of you as well, I really feel that working with your heart chakra at this time, it would be really beneficial to you, because that will help you to open up to the connection from the universe. And it's really, really important that you do so, because it's going to help you and direct you back into your passions as well. This card is also a very passionate card, so I think it's really, really wonderful. And maybe some of you need to recapture this passion that maybe has been held back. But I don't think you're going to have much choice. Okay, so some of you Capricorns here, this is going to come to you, like it or not. And I feel it's really well overdue. I think some of you have been getting an emotional breakup. Some of you might even be invited out to some kind of soiree, some kind of party, some kind of situation where you're going to actually learn more about something that you weren't expecting, or meeting maybe some rightful contacts of your people as well. So don't be afraid to walk away from certain people that's not actually served you, and walk towards the right people who are actually going to really nourish you inside and out. There's definitely some healing. And I think in some way you've got the Justice card here quite further back, but certainly the Justice card is coming up. So again, some of you Capricorns, this is about time for you to sort of make something right, or something's going to be righted for you. And I think you could be actually even celebrating. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick check on this Knight of Wands, because this Knight of Wands for me is often very different to the other decks I normally use. And for me, the Light Seers Tarot is not my regular deck, but a deck I love to use. It's so colorful and vibrant. So I'm just going to have a quick check in what else could be added to heighten the kind of the energy you're moving into with the Knight of Wands. Is it Swords? Oops. Knight of Wands, where are you? Here we are. Great. Okay, so yes, so sometimes it's just keywords, and unfortunately I've been doing these readings back to back, so my mind is kind of, it sort of gets quite sort of rigid and stagnant, I have to sort of say. It gets quite trickier as the day where it goes on. I'm always in awe of how these people do all these videos day in and day out, and every week, like 3 or 4 for the same song. I'm actually in awe of the people who actually really do put them out there. Okay, but this is about pursuing your dreams and really putting your passions, and this is fast energy, and this is I think this is the word I actually want. Taking courage, okay, because actually one of my messages for the full moon is about being brave and taking courage. So this something is about you having to, invoke that or bring that in, and just trust that, which is also very complimentary really for the fear of change. We do need courage, okay? And courage also is a Latin word, a French word of coeur, which is to do things with heart. So follow your heart, okay? It might take an act of bravery maybe to leave a situation as well that that's had its time, be it your employer, your boss, or even an entrepreneurial project as well. Maybe you just become so reliant on it, maybe you've been so identified by the identity of your job title or something, okay? It could be also in a relationship, but I do feel this is more not necessarily a relationship based reading, but more to do with kind of your work or your identity. Okay, so sometimes we do need to change everything, which I feel could be the case here with the Wheel of Fortune, because everything is just turning round. Okay, and then just allow yourself to sort of be with what needs to happen and take inspired action. So I'm going to open up, the Moon Oracle deck here. Oops, one decided to fly out. Okay, wow, this is really nice. So this is definitely a time for you for blossoming. So there couldn't be a much more suited card reading. So Capricorn, whatever it is, this is taking you somewhere towards something that you really want and has potential for growth. So you really need, this is about time to live your tune. If you look, just playing your own violin, you can give a violin out to different violinists, and all of them would be playing it their way. And this is really much a time for you to live your truth about how you want to do things and how you want to express yourself. Okay, keep your focus on the goal. All right, like I said, it might mean changes in your immediate landscape, external as well as your inner landscape, but this is actually going to be a wonderful situation that you'll be moving to. So the extra card here for Capricorns is that you are moving towards blossoming. Again, I'm just going to check with what else I could tell you. This is about also you getting some inspiration, actually. What I'm getting is and allowing that inspiration to flow down. Okay, if I've not said this already, you know, this is really important because what I'm seeing is her shawl here and also all the flowers. So this is about things being fluid. You're not having to force anything. This is something that, again, comes from within. Okay, really important. And inspired action also can only come from that. What's nice about your reading as well, you're one of the few signs so far that's not had a very much of a mental state thing going on. A lot of people have had a lot of the swords, a lot of confusion and a lot of disruption within the mind and therefore certain energies. Whereas Capricorn, really the only thing, and it's a big thing though, you know, is having to be released from any kind of hold that anything has got you. So if you're aware that there is something that's holding you back, that is the one thing you need to, for sure, sort of get rid of. My eyes also has gone several times to that figure there with the, you know, hand in its head, or the head rather in his hands, and also blocking his ears out. So again, this I feel as well as to listen to yourself and block out maybe what somebody else could be saying or doing or wanting to stop you from doing. Okay, the other thing it could be is if you're in a habit of actually talking to yourself really negatively, then this is very much about you releasing that. So wherever you are on the scale of this change, this cycle of change, particularly in this full moon in Aquarius, we've got a lot of different aspects astrologically happening. And again, you'll get more of a, you know, an insight into that by looking at the other video. But very much change is, and you're totally on track, Capricorn, because change is calling you. And I really bless you in your new path, or possibly a new enlightened place, because this is an enlightening wake-up call for you as well. Okay, but I know for a fact that this has been a long time coming, and the Wheel of Fortune is certainly confirming right at the opening of your spread that this is the time for you to start moving and changing the cycle of your life. All right, I'm going to leave it here for all of you. Lots of love. Thank you for listening. I hope you got something from this reading. Do feel free to subscribe, like, and comment. Do let me know if these readings are helpful. Do cross-watch or look at your other aspects. If you've got sun or rising or wherever else in the other elements, there'll be also a message there for you as well. So do go and check with that. I'm going to leave it here. Lots of love, and I'll catch you another time. Bye for now. Bye.